first kind of big live in the Avalanche coaching page. Just gonna kind of ramble for a minute until a few more people will join us. So hopefully, if all goes to plan, this should be linking with my group and they should be getting the notifications as well. So normally I would do the sort of free training and tips in my Facebook group, and then anything that I can share across on via YouTube into my page, then I do. A lot of the time I kind of keep it just to the group, the people that have joined as part of the work-life coaching, rather than sort of doing it in the page where a lot of people have liked the page for the quotes and stuff like that. So, but trying something new, see how it goes. So fingers crossed it's going to go okay. Spent about 10 minutes trying to get the lighting right so you can actually see me. So the subjects that I wanted to kind of cover today is thinking about when you're trying to be focused on something. So this could be a work thing, but it doesn't have to be. It can be even down to housework and things. So anything that you're doing where you have multiple things to do, so you might have a huge list of things that you need to do and you don't get it done and you're getting really distracted and other things kind of get in the way. If you're in the working environment and you're going into work and you find that you've got loads of stuff that you need to do and you're running out of time to get it done, then this is one of the tips that I'm sharing of how to manage that. So there's lots of different things you can do to remain productive, to be proactive and to stay focused. And over the next couple of weeks I'm going to be trying to show more and more of these tips as I can to kind of help people out as a little part of my free training that I do. So the big one that I wanted to share with you guys today is one that I found online. It's something that I've kind of done before through my leadership training that I did previously, but it's slightly been adapted. So there's a guy called Peter Sage who's a coach, a really, really good one, and one of the free trainings that he did was about this 50-minute rule. So there are other ones. There's a 25-minute one, there's a 45-minute one, and you know they're all the same really. They all have the same kind of impact. They're all the same process. You do the same kind of thing to get there, but it's about more really being able to kind of, for me, the 50-minute one it's just more productive for me. I can find that I get more done. So what normally would happen is you can click your emoji buttons, your like buttons and your love buttons, and send little love hearts all over the screen, and you can post comments. I'm hoping I've got it set up so I can see all your comments and likes and stuff. So if you're there and you jump on and you're with me live, then drop me a comment or show me a like or something. Let me know that you're with me, and I can respond to the comments as we're going along. So if you've got any questions and you want to ask anything, then stick your comment in. There's normally a delay of a couple of seconds, so if you write a comment and I don't look at it straight away, don't panic. It takes a couple of seconds for it to show up at my end as well. So if you're joining me, hi, welcome, thank you for coming along, and yeah, just make sure that you're letting me know that you're there. So throughout the live, drop a few likes, stick a few love hearts or smiley faces, whatever you want to do, but just so I can still see that you're with me. So this 50-minute rule then is basically a way of breaking down your time and the things that you do so that you are able to be more focused. Hi Samuel, hi Bernadette. Just so that you can make sure that you're more focused in what you need to do. So things like when you first get into work and you've got a ton of emails to read and you've got meetings to attend and all that kind of stuff, what will happen is you'll get sidetracked, you'll get delayed, people come and talk to you, and well, should have been a productive day, you end up kind of coming away feeling like you've had nothing done and you've got nowhere. And this happens loads, and it can happen in anything. It can happen if you're self-employed, working from home, it can happen if you work in a big industry, it can even happen if you're working in sort of factories and workshops and things like that. It's about kind of planning your processes so that you get more done, but also when you're doing it you're more productive. So what will happen is you'll have a big task to do. So say you've got a report to write you've got something you need to read, somebody else's report that you need to read. And over a period of time, you end up either starting to reread the same thing over and over again, or you start to lose track, you start to get distracted, or if you're writing the report, what happens is you start to kind of run out of what you're going to say, or you start repeating yourself and what you're going to say, or you stop being able to really think about what you're saying. Hi Una, how are you? So really what this does is this makes you more aware of what you're doing, and makes sure that when you're doing it, you're getting it right and you're being your most productive when you're doing it. So what they suggest you do is when you first arrive into work, you spend 15 minutes, your first part of your day, saying hello to people. Keep it to 15, 20 minutes maximum. And what this does is this makes your social side come out. It puts you in a good mood. So when you first arrive at work, you're not always your happiest. You've just had trouble parking the car, or you've got caught in the rain, or whatever it might be. Drop the kids off at nursery and schools and stuff, and you're all over the place. So if you first get into work, if you spend those first 10 or 15 minutes kind of saying hello to your colleagues, you know, talking about the night before, talking about a TV programme, you know, your Walking Dead or whatever it might be, and what that does is that gets the brain highlighted, it gets excited, you're in a good mood now. So when you then first log onto your computer, you're in a little bit more of a better mood, you're a little bit more focused at this point. And then what it suggests you do is that you don't look at your emails immediately. I know, really big thing, because it's what we all do, but try not to. What you should do first of all is look at your calendar. So when you first go in, look at your calendar. Most of the time, if you've got any really important emails that are meetings, they will show, they'll be greyed in your calendar, so you're not going to miss a 9 o'clock meeting at 5 to 9. So you'll see them, and try it, because honestly it does work. So when you go in, look at your calendar first of all. Have a look at what you've got on that day. Look at whether or not you've got a lunch book. Look at when your first meetings are. Look at what time you can finish. Look at when your last meeting is and all that kind of thing. And then just get a little bit of paper, get a notebook, and write them down at the top of the page. This is almost like a calendar prompt, if you like. I know during the day it will pop up on your computer and stuff like that, but to stop that panic and that rush throughout the day, on your notebook, just at the very top, just write a list of the times, the meetings, and the meeting room that you're going to be in. I know where I used to work, the meeting rooms were all over the place, and there's lots of different ones and things like that, so that really helped me. And then draw a line under it. Now what that means is no more meetings. So that's you for the day. No more. Then nobody can put any more in your calendar, apart from your bosses, obviously. Okay. So what you then do is you then start your to-do list. So what you've got on your notebook is your first part is your meetings, the places you have to be and when you have to be there by, and then you start your to-do list. This is when you can open your email. Okay. So what you do is you open your email, and the first thing you want to do is filter it so that you can see the ones that are unread. So for those of you that leave your email in a really bit of a mess, try and make sure that you're keeping it kind of a little bit more condensed and put it into unread so that you can see the really urgent ones. For some of you there'll only be 3 or 4, some of you will be there a lot more. They then suggest you spend the next 50 minutes looking at your emails. That's it. No more than 50 minutes. So you spend the next 50 minutes going through your emails, because if you know you've only got 50 minutes, you are going to select them more urgently and as a priority. So the emails from Voucher, you forget those. You can look at them later. All the ones that are from your bosses, your team, the ones that you know you need to look at, the ones that might be cancelling your meetings, the ones that might be adding meetings, all that kind of stuff, they're the first ones you look at. And then after 50 minutes, you stop. You don't look at your emails anymore. And then what you do is you then look at your to-do list and you spend 10 minutes writing out what you have to do. So you've gone through your emails. You now know if there's anything that's come up that's urgent, that's important that you need to do. And then what you do from that is you then collate your to-do list. And your to-do list should only take you 10 minutes, because what you're doing is you're putting down the top few things that you need to do that day. Along that to-do list, you put things that you have to get done that day, so things that have to be finished today, and then the things that you need to do next. And then you start your to-do list, and then you start working your way through it. And you spend 50 minutes on each task. 50 minutes only. Now I know this sounds really harsh, and a lot of people are going to think there's no way, a lot of my tasks take me 2 hours to do. The reason they take you 2 hours to do is because after an hour, you start to switch off from what you're doing. So after 60 minutes, you start to not think about what you're doing anymore, and you go half of your productive self, if you like. So that last hour that you're writing that report, you've only done maybe half an hour's actual worth of work, because you'll be distracted, you're bored, you're flicking in at your emails, you're not actually doing the work. Most things you can do in 50 minutes, or you can do the majority of. After 50 minutes, you then take a 10-minute break. So this could be going to the toilet, it could be going to get a coffee, it could be having a chat with the person next to you, it could be going into your emails and looking at your voucher, right? Whatever that might be, but you take a 10-minute break. This doesn't mean you have to go outside for a cigarette, you don't have to kind of get your coat on, go for lunch, go and get a coffee, Costa, all that kind of stuff. It's just a 10-minute break. And then you come back to your desk, and then you spend your 50 minutes doing your next task. And you do that throughout the day. You make sure you have a lunch. Keep your lunch to 50 minutes as well, if you can. If you have a lunch break that takes longer than an hour, then the next hour and a half after is your least productive of the day. Because you've had a longer lunch, it takes you longer to get back in the rhythm of things. You know, if you've been to a leaving do lunch, or you've been to the pub for lunch and you've been gone for longer than an hour, when you first get back, you spend ages chatting to people. It's really difficult to get back into your job. It's really hard, and that's because the brain has decided work's done for the day. You must be socialising because you're in the pub, or you've gone out, or you're longer than an hour. So it starts to break itself down and starts to relax. You have to then remind your brain you're still at work. And that takes a lot longer, and then you have to start building yourself up again. So you've wasted another hour, hour and a half of your day after lunch just making yourself more productive. You get to 5 o'clock, you then start working late because you've done nothing all day, or you feel like you've done nothing all day. So by using this 50-minute ruling, what you do is you condense your day into a way that you can manage. You condense it into a way that you can control it. You make sure you get breaks throughout the day. You make sure that you are focused when you're working because you're looking at just that task. And also what you've done is you've ruled out any urgent stuff you need to do. So you're not going to be missing stuff throughout the day. So it does work, and try it. See how it goes. There's going to be different things you need to, change, and things where it's not going to be something you can do every day. So if you've got meetings throughout your whole day, you're not going to be breaking those down and doing your to-do list and all that kind of stuff. They're the times it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Hi Brenda, hi Kerry Ann, hi Selena. So really what you want to be thinking of is looking at your day as if you've got meetings all day and you're away from your desk, that's a ruled out day. They're the exception to the rule. But if you're in a position or you're in a job where you're at your desk most of the day and you're not up and around all the time, this 50-minute rule really does work. So to recap, when you first come in, you spend 10 or 15 minutes saying hello to people, welcoming people, chatting about your day. Then you look at your calendar. Don't look at emails, don't look at anything else, don't start anything, you look at your calendar. Look at where you're supposed to be, look at what you need to do. Great thing to do is to put tasks in your calendar as well, so anything that has to be done by certain times or certain days of the week or certain days of the month, have those in your calendar because they'll be jumping out at you at that point. Then you spend your 50 minutes doing your emails, then you take a 10-minute break. 50 minutes doing your task, take a 10-minute break. 50 minutes doing your task, you take your lunch, you keep your lunch to 50 minutes. That allows you to come back, go to the loo, get a coffee, get back to your desk. You're still within your hour. You're still taking your time. And then you get back to your desk and you can go back to doing your emails or your tasks, whatever it is you need to do, but keep it to 50 minutes. And then what you do is every 50 minutes you change your task. Throughout the day, you can do the same task twice. You can do 50 minutes in the morning and then 50 minutes in the afternoon. But don't do 50 minutes collectively. So not the task, go for a break, and then pick up the task again. Now, this might, when you first start doing it, feel a little bit kind of, might throw you off a little bit because you'll be thinking, well, crap, I've got to get this done, and if I do it now, I know it's done, and if I don't get it done, then I'm going to get into trouble and all that kind of stuff. But that's you're not productive anyway, so you're probably not going to get it finished. You're probably not going to get it done anyway, so it's worth trialling this. So do your 50 minutes, do your task, put it down. Pick something else up, 50 minutes, do that, put it down, pick something else up. And what happens is during that 50 minutes, because you know that that is the only thing that you are doing, you are so much more productive. You are twice as productive in getting it finished. Hi, Kula. And then what you can do is start to really make yourself even more focused when you're doing it. The more habit you get into, the first couple of times you're going to be doing it, you'll be checking the clock, making sure you're sticking to 50 minutes, going over by 10 minutes, all of that kind of stuff. But once you start getting used to it and you really start using it properly, you'll find that you can get most of your work done in that 50 minutes and you'll be really productive. Now, if it's a task that takes less than 50 minutes, that's great, because then you look at your to-do list and you know all those things that are on there that didn't have to be done till maybe next week, you can start them. You can start putting those together. You can start your planning or your research and things like that. Those extra couple of minutes that you get, instead of being really stressed because you've done 15 things today and now you've got 10 minutes to yourself, so you're going to go and hide in the toilet, you won't feel like that because you've had your 10-minute breaks after each of your 50 minutes. So it really does make you more productive. The other thing you need to remember to do, and this is going to be really hard, is close down your screens. Whatever it is you're working on is the only thing you have open. Now, this is something I used to be terrible at. I would have 10 tabs open. I'd have the intranet up, I'd have the internet up, I'd have my claim system up, I'd have my emails up, I'd have my calendar up, and I'd be flicking backwards and forwards between everything. The amount of time you waste flicking between screens and getting distracted because whilst you're in the middle of something, you've got a little thing pop up to tell you you've got an email, you go and look at your emails and there's a load of rubbish you don't need to see, and then you come back to it and your brain starts to wind down from what you were just doing. So by closing your email down, you can really focus on just what you're doing. So if you're writing a report, the only thing you should have out on your screen is your report and any research side things that you need to look at. When you're checking your emails, you have nothing else open, just the emails. If you're on the internet because you need to search for something, just have the internet open. And I know it sounds silly and it sounds a little bit like, oh, well, you know, what difference does that make? But try it, give it a go. And if you're somebody that loses focus really easily, gets distracted really easily, comes home at the end of the day feeling like you've been rushed off your feet, or just somebody that has lots of tabs open and you feel like you're jumping backwards and forwards all day, which causes so much stress, then give this a go. Try it. What's the worst that can happen? At the moment, you're not being productive because you're not focused and you're not getting everything done anyway. So you can't be any worse off by trying it. All you can be is better off for trying it. So my suggestion is to give it a go, see how it works. Let me know. If you find it does work, then please drop me a comment, come back and let me know, because it'd be great to know if it works. The other thing you can do is research Peter Sage and his 50-minute rule, and he goes into it in a lot more depth and things, and he's got books about it and all that kind of stuff, but it's really, really interesting. It's a really great tool, and I find, especially now I'm self-employed, it's very easy to get very distracted. And if you look at the TV shows, most of them are 45 minutes to 50 minutes long, because any more than that, and you start to get bored with the programme, you start to switch off. Any TV series and things like that, they stick them to 50 minutes usually, and that's why this 50-minute rule is used by so many people in so many places. You go to conferences and most of the speakers, none of them will ever be longer than 50 minutes because you start to nod off afterwards. So give it a go, try it, let me know if it works. So what I will do, I'll put a little post together to put in the page as well, just to let you know the summary of what I've said, in case I've kind of confused you or you've kind of joined me halfway through and not quite sure what it is I'm talking about. And give it a go, see how it works. But I guarantee you will see a difference, and it will get better, and you'll find yourself much more focused, much more productive, and it will really work. So no more 3 hours gossiping when you first arrive at work and half-hour lunches and then hour and a half lunches, because taking half an hour for lunch makes no difference. You're not relaxed enough. You haven't had a proper break. 50 minutes of work, 10-minute break. 50 minutes of work, 10-minute break. Your lunch, 50 minutes. Back into your desk, 50 minutes work, 10-minute break. I'm sure your bosses aren't going to complain about a 10-minute break, because I'm not suggesting you down tools, go out for a fag every 50 minutes. I'm suggesting you use that time to go to the loo, go and get a coffee, have a quick chat, make the telephone call to the bank if that's what you need to do, that kind of thing. So use those 10 minutes to do the stuff that's for you, that's your downtime. And your 50 minutes is all about your work, your task, what you need to do. And I guarantee you'll get more productive and you'll get loads more done. So give it a shot, let me know. Thanks for joining me. It's been lovely seeing you all, and hopefully this also appeared in my group as well and it's working. So take care, see you all soon. Bye.